Hello, and welcome back to the Askew universe retrospective. And today I'm going to talk about the second film in the Askew universe, Mallrats. Now, I have a special attachment to Mallrats. I actually love this movie. I came around the time where I wasn't born when it was released, so I never really heard bad things about it. I came around the time where people would say they love it, but people, even Kevin Smith, would say it's not a very good movie. But I disagree. I love this movie. It's got a great time capsule of 1995, especially for comic book nerds. This is a very auteur blockbuster, even though it only cost $6 million. But you can still feel Kevin Smith's stamp all over this film. Now, my English professor from college, community college, says this is his best film, which I could say, yeah, I like this movie a lot. I wouldn't say that. But I really enjoy Mallrats. The only problem I have with it is really, even though it's not a big problem in Clerks, it's kind of the Clerks thing where Dante is the main character, but he's overshined by how likable Randall is. Here, the main character really is T.S., played by Jeremy Linden, but he's really outshined by the supporting character of Jason Lee's character, Brody Bruce, who is an amazing comedic actor who knocks it out of the park with this movie. Just the whole conversation about how no Lois Lane can have sex with Superman, or his fascination with superhero genitalia is just so funny to me and so weird, and stuff I would talk about with my friends, and we were talking about stuff about superheroes. This is the first appearance of Ben Affleck in a VSQ Universe movie as the asshole from Fashionable Male, who is trying to get with Brody, Jason Lee's ex-girlfriend, played by Shannon Doherty. And there's also this girl, Claire, who I believe, what is it, Claire? Yeah, I can't remember. Her last name is Jones, which is very important because she's related to other people in the VSCO universe. But her thing is she's writing a book about teenage sex drive called Borgasm. And they can't publish it until she's 18, which is actually kind of funny. And Jay and Silent Bob appear, and they're pretty great. Funny thing is, Jason Mew was almost recast because wasn't a big name actor. He almost got Seth Green to play Jay, but even Seth Green said no, and then Kevin Smith pretty much said, "I'll fly him out, and if you guys like the dailies, we'll keep him," and they did. So Jason Mewes is still Jay, and Kevin Smith is Silent Bob. And this whole funny thing that actually has a great payoff where Silent Bob tries doing the Jedi mind trick. And it has a great payoff. And so canonally, this takes place before Clerks. So canonally, Mallrats is the first time Silent Bob speaks because Jason Mewes like, whoa, Jay's like, whoa, you actually speak? And, stuff like that. And the whole movie is really about these characters getting dumped and trying to cheer themselves up, going to the mall. But at the mall, one of the dumped guy's girlfriends is filling in for her father's crappy dating show, which is like a dating show, and they were supposed to go to Florida to Universal Studios, and he was going to propose to her at the Jaws ride. But that didn't work out, and Jason Lee's girlfriend dumps him because all he cares about is comics and video games, and isn't really that supportive of a boyfriend. So this whole movie is just them trying to cheer themselves up, trying to stop the dating competition, and like I said, it's almost an auteur, comedy, because you can tell it's a Kevin Smith movie, even though it's higher budget, it's in color, and it's not particularly well shot. It's not a comedy where the visuals are the gags, mostly the dialogue and the characters and the acting. But other than that, there's some great cameos from, a lady with three boobs, Ethan Sluppy as a guy who can't see a image in one of those, look really hard stuff, and you see a schooner, and that's a funny line. A schooner is a sailboat. There's so many great lines in this movie. Like that he's faster than Walt Flanagan's dog, and of course Walt Flanagan and Brian Johnson, who are Kevin Smith's friends, saying, "Tell him, Steve, Dave," and Steve says, "So you stop saying that." That was one of my favorite things. And of course, Stan Lee, in one of his very first cameos before he became the cameo king, And I think he actually really likes his cameo because he always asks Kevin Smith, when are we making the next movie? And he also, his cameo in Captain Marvel is related to this movie, so I would assume he really liked this movie, really like making this movie. And so yeah, this is just really fun. And Kevin Smith actually apologized for this movie, but I don't think he should have. It's his movie. He kind of going over his head. I think making it more accessible to people who kind of was his downfall, because Kevin Smith is accessible, but to a certain degree, I don't think he's very a mainstream comedy guy, because there is so much lowbrow humor, so much nerd stuff here that it makes a normal comedy seem tame in a way. And this is him trying to tame his own material in a bit, not in the way, because it's still rated R. It's just make it more accessible instead of the low and dirty just talking of clerics. Here he tries to have some set pieces and stuff, which don't always necessarily work. And I think that's really the only flaw with this movie, is him trying to almost sell out in a way where he makes a movie for the masses but still retains his directorial voice, which he does have, even though he's not the greatest technical director. Anyway, so if you enjoyed Mallrats, comment below. Make sure to share, like, and subscribe. See you guys later.